All right, time for a warning to all millennials who are currently applying for university. Here is a tip that no guidance counselor is going to tell you. You're way better off being a refugee, even a fake refugee, than being Caucasian, especially if you're looking to go to school in Canada.
Social justice, 1, 2, 3. Woo, woo. I wanna be PC. Woo, woo. It's just the way to be for me and you. Woo, woo. Your hateful slurs are through. Woo, woo.
I call woo woo on you.
Woo, woo. We'll fight until you're PC black and blue. Woo, woo.
Yep, so Canada is so damn politically correct, it is now officially enforcing a system of educational apartheid. So I recently came across this piece in the Fredericton Daily Gleaner. It said that University of New Brunswick is creating new rules to fast-track refugees affected by President Trump's so-called travel ban. The university is proposing to 1. Waive application fees, 2. Waive residence fees, 3. Reduce or waive undergraduate tuition deposits, 4. Guarantee residence space, and 5. Help transfer all students affected by the travel ban. To quote George McLean, that's VP academic at the university, he says, it basically puts these students at the top of the queue. Translation, you could lose your spot at your hometown college to a foreign queue jumper who doesn't even have to pay. And UNB is not the only campus letting refugees jump the line. There are actually a handful of other Canadian universities offering rushed special treatment to students affected by the travel ban, including Memorial University in St. John's, just down the road. Because apparently there's a huge need, a huge amount of refugees barred from the U.S. just for a couple of days who just must go to university at this very moment. So after reading that piece, I wondered if refugees, other than those affected by President Trump's orders, are also getting special treatment on Canadian college campuses, say like some of the tens of thousands of Syrian refugees that Canada has accepted to date. And lo and behold, yep, it's happening all across the country. Scholarships for Syrian refugees are being offered at dozens of Canadian university campuses. McGill University in Quebec, for instance, is taking measures to ensure it triples the number of refugee students it admits by the beginning of the next academic year. And at the opposite end of the country, the University of Northern British Columbia is investing an additional $180,000 to its refugee pot, so to grant 5 full scholarships for Syrian migrants the next year. Meantime, Georgian College in Ontario is promising a full ride for not 5, but 7 Syrian refugees. And again, the educational institutions I've just mentioned are but a few on a very long list of unis offering special treatment, including scholarships and line jumping, to refugees coming to Canada from, let's face it, a part of the world with lower literacy and education levels than we have right here. But hey, just for a second, let's play devil's advocate. I mean, Canada is a country with scholarships for every conceivable group. Women, blacks, homosexuals, Asians, the blind and deaf, Native Indians, and transsexuals too. What's the harm in adding migrants as one category on the scholarship list, right? Scholarships for one and all. Here's the thing. There's actually one group that doesn't have a single scholarship anywhere in the country. White people. And there's little chance that that's ever going to change because right now, it's actually against the law. Long story short, the ruling was born out of a case involving the late Dr. Victor Priebe, who tried to establish such a scholarship in his last will and testament. But the Canadian legal system intervened. The doctor's will sought to set up bursaries for students in the sciences. It asked that one be directed to, quote, Caucasian white males, single, that are heterosexual students, while another would be reserved for a hard-working, single, Caucasian white girl who is not a feminist or a lesbian. And despite the fact that just about every Canadian university already has scholarships set up to support individuals who are not white and who are not straight, well, what did the court rule? The Ontario Superior Court ruled that the dead doctor was probably a white supremacist, homophobe, even though they didn't have a single shred of evidence. Then the judge invoked a little-known legal principle stemming from an 80-year-old Supreme Court judgment that allows courts to quash people's final wishes if they offend the interests of the state. In some, Dr. Preeb's will was struck down as a hate crime because a whites-only scholarship poses a, quote, risk to the safety of the state of Canada. Now, I don't know about you, but the last time I checked, encouraging white people going to school, it isn't really a threat to our nationhood. And frankly, encouraging migrants to go to school isn't the end of the world either. I'd rather them come to our country, literate and educated, sure, but if they want to choose to do that here, I'd rather that than a drain on our generous welfare state. However, why should a refugee get special treatment while our own citizens receive the opposite? Why are our schools placing refugee applications above our own kids? Why are refugees allowed to have Canadian scholarships, some of which involve taxpayer funds, while other Canadians, white Canadians, are barred from scholarships just because of the color of their skin? It is bizarre. It is backwards. And whether we want to admit it or not, it's actually a form of educational apartheid, and it's happening right here in our own backyard. For the Rebel.media, I'm Faith Goldy. If you enjoyed this video, click below, like it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.